If there is one thing that has been flooding my inbox for the past couple weeks, it's request after request to talk about the Kate Yep situation. And as someone who loves a good ARG and creepy YouTube content, I felt like I was up to the task. But let me be clear here. I am no Nightmind or Rainbot or even the gorgeous and kind Loey Lane. Everything I say here is based off of things I have found on the internet and am based off my own research, as well as my own opinion. I highly encourage you all to do your own research on the situation and let me know what you think in the comments down below. I also want to be clear that what we are talking about is this woman's life, and she has made the choice to conceal her identity the same way I have made that choice. This woman has decided to do YouTube without showing her face, and I personally think that should be respected. Do not try to dox Kate Yep even if you're trying to help her. Do not try to find out her exact location just because you want to send the police to her. Please respect this woman's privacy. Now, with all that being said and disclaimed, let's get right into the video. So, who is Kate Yep and why are people talking about her? Kate Yep is a mukbang ASMR YouTuber who makes videos of herself eating excessive amounts of seafood, all while covering the top half of her face and distorting her appearance so that no one can tell her identity. Her first video, which was posted around a year ago, started off with a bang as she recorded herself eating 11 pounds of salmon and breaking the world record. The video is 13 minutes long, and in that time, like the title says, she eats 11 pounds of salmon, completely just gone. And boy, is it weird. Now, one thing about the Kate Yep channel that we need to establish right off the bat, right off the get-go, is that there's something inherently creepy about it. I am not coming for anyone who likes mukbang content, or anyone who likes ASMR content, or even anyone who likes to put a mask on before they go online and do whatever they want to do. If it floats your boat, if it makes you comfortable, keep on floating, my dude. But there's something inherently creepy about watching a girl in a mask who you only interact with when she's having huge meals in front of you quietly while tapping and leaving messages on the screen. There's just something slightly unsettling about that makes people think that there is something wrong. Even if nothing else had happened, even if there was no clues, even if everything else was fine, that alone would make people think something is off. Because that alone did make people think something was off. And that, in my opinion, is where this problem really started. Because people were already slightly creeped out by her content and felt like there was something wrong with watching this tiny girl in a mask eat pounds and pounds of foods with absolutely no respite, with no water, with no added anything. And they started to see patterns and problems where there really weren't any because they felt creeped out. They started to see things as signs or clues of something more nefarious going on, and pointedly looked over the fact that a lot of the things that they were worried about could be explained or were explained with simple answers. I'm going to read the first Reddit post I was able to find about Kate, and we will go from there. That way we have a certain jumping off point and we get a general idea about what people are upset about. Creepy and suspicious mukbang YouTube channel Kate Yep. I can't find another fitting subreddit, so I will try to post this here. So I saw this post on Facebook about a YouTube channel called Kate Yep, and it pointed out some very disturbing things in the latest video, like she was wearing a blindfold, her arm had bruises, the highlighted letters on the screen for the word SOS, and at some time in the video she tried to use Morse code, which the comment said roughly translated to "I need help." The common theory around this is that she is being held by someone, boyfriend or husband, and he, or they, is abusing her, starving her, and forcing her to do mukbangs to make money. The reason for the blindfold and no voice is so no one could recognize her face. It's been 1 month since her last video, and people are saying the top comment pointing out the unusual problems in her video has alerted the one behind the scheme, and she might be in even more danger. What do you think? The description of the channel is basically nothing and just adds to the theory that the one behind all of this doesn't want to be found or contacted in any way. You can find the top comment in the linked video below. So we are going to go point by point through this message and talk about each one of the disturbing things this person brought up. And I'm going to put disturbing in quotes because as we go over, it becomes less disturbing. We're going to go over what they're talking about and then see the response that Kate has given and see if that checks out with what could possibly happen in real life. The first point they made is that in the video, Kate was wearing a blindfold, and that in and of itself is disturbing and it's weird and they want to conceal the identity and that's weird. However, in every video she has on her channel, Kate can be seen donning this blindfold because, according to her, she wants to keep her identity hidden. Now, I personally understand this. I mean, there is a reason I am not on camera reacting to things in front of you, and that's because I simply do not want to do that. I don't want to have that level of intimacy with people I do not know, and I don't want people to come up to me in public. I know I'm a smaller YouTuber, but that still frightens me. I enjoy my quiet little life with my husband as it is, and the idea of people knowing me and coming up to me and knowing what what I look like when I don't know them does freak me out a little bit. So I opt to keep that piece of me away from the internet. But Kate doesn't have the luxury of wanting to be an art channel or a commentary channel or a channel that doesn't have to show her face. In order to make the content she wants to make, if she's the one who wants to make it, she has to have a camera pointed at her and she has to show at least the bottom half of her face. So she dons a mask so that the rest of her is completely and utterly concealed and most people wouldn't be able to locate her afterwards. As odd and off-putting as that may seem to some people who do want internet fame, it's something that she does to feel comfortable, and to me it's completely and utterly understandable. Can I take someone making something out of nothing for $100, Alex? Next point. The poster goes on to talk about how Kate's arm had bruises on it, which can be seen right here. She also looked like she had a sore or a cut on her lip, which led people to think that she had been beaten up or hit by someone and was being held hostage. Again, like the post said, the common idea was that she had an abusive partner that was doing this to her or forcing her to participate in some way. However, Kate has responded to these claims, saying the bruises on her arm were simply from the sun, which I personally had never heard of. I thought that was BS. So I decided to do some light Googling, and apparently it is in fact a thing. Solar purpura is a condition that can cause one or more flat purple bruises. It often occurs on the hands, forearms, and legs. It's called solar purpura because it occurs most often on areas that are exposed to the sun. So that, to me, checks out. I also went ahead and looked at some pictures of bruises that occurred with solar purpura, and they do look like bruises that Kate had on her arm at that time. Not that I'm a bruises expert or I can really tell scientifically or anything, I just saying with my eyesight they do look similar. And as for the cut on her lip, she had another simple explanation for that. It was just a cold sore. For some reason, I've seen a lot of people online write off this answer as if cold sores are not in fact really common and aren't the devil's asshole and make you look like you've been hit in the face. But as someone who gets them, especially after I've been in the sun for too long and haven't worn enough sunscreen or sunblock on my mouth, that checks out with me. After looking at her explanation for both the bruises and that, and taking in account that she had bruises caused by the sun and a cold sore possibly also caused by prolonged sun exposure, everything here checks out fine with me. I don't actually think this part was the internet making something out of nothing though. Do not take my joke before as like detrimental to this specific point, because to me, when I see a person with bruises or a busted lip, I always get concerned. I think here in this instance, people were by and large genuinely concerned and saw something that they thought didn't add up. They thought they saw someone hurt or injured, and the outpouring of kindness from this was amazing. However, people now have disregarded the fact that everything that has been shown, everything that was concerning, can be explained simply, which to me is not great. Now let's talk about the subtitles, because boy oh boy are those funny to me. The first time people became concerned over the subtitles were in the same video where she had a cut on her lip and bruises on her arms, and the subtitle that people read as a call to help was this: "The meat is so delicious, soft, and tender." Now once again, Kate Yup's channel is pretty damn off-putting, and this video in particular made people concerned because you have a woman in a blindfold scarfing down food as if it is her job, because I guess it is, and she has a cut on her lip and bruises on her arm. Already, your what the fuck meter is going off, and you're thinking that something about this is not right. You are already looking for something, anything to tell you what is happening. And then this message comes on screen, and you're like Nicolas Cage in National Treasure because you cracked the damn code. This was the first thing I heard about, and frankly, I thought it was an ARG when this happened. I thought this was obvious. I thought this was fake. I was like, okay, alternate reality game. I'm ready for Echo Rose. Let's do this. And then her subsequent spelling out for help in her other video in subtitled code super put me on that path. But after looking through everything, I really don't think that's the case. I'm willing to be wrong on this point, but I really don't think it is. First off, if we are going under the idea that she is a woman who has been captured and has been forced to eat all of this good food to become a YouTube celebrity and make money for her captor, why would she be the one in charge of editing the video? That to me doesn't make very much sense. If you are going to kidnap a girl, force her to do something against her will, have her make a YouTube channel and make videos for it, I wouldn't then ask that person to edit and upload for themselves. They're going to find a way to sneak messages in there. They're going to find a way to draw attention to themselves. I would not do that. And I feel like most people with a brain larger than a pea would know that. Second off, I wouldn't allow her to make a video when she has cuts and bruises on her arm, because that would tip people off to what is happening and people would be genuinely concerned. And seeing as she's getting having millions of views by now on easily monetized content, she wouldn't need to post a video as often as she is doing. So you can wait until the bruises go away, or you would put them in a shirt, or you would try to make them look normal. If anything, I think the first part is a case of random capitalization made by a woman who doesn't speak English as her first language and was done on accident. I think she saw the wild response from it though and put the message as some kind of joke, or just a wink and a nod to the people who were concerned and didn't mean it to become what it became. Again, I can't think of a kidnapper or an abuser who is stupid enough to let his victims edit their own videos and keep this in. Except, daddyofive. He is stupid enough. And he's back on SoundCloud, if you want to check that out. I tried and I failed you. I'm sorry. There are also claims of someone talking in her videos telling her to eat faster, hurry up, and just eat. The voices in the video are said to be male, and people think this is her captor. However, when I listened to these parts, I personally did not hear it. I watched a couple videos on the subject just to get a grasp on it, and Rainbot's video made the most sense to me in terms of explaining this phenomenon, and I'm going to leave her linked in the description below. Once again, it's a case of people listening for something because they were genuinely concerned. They were trying to see if anything was wrong or if anything happened, and because of that, their mind made something in the background into something it wasn't. It's the same thing like if you go into a haunted house and you hear creaking, it's going to sound like footsteps rather than the ground settling. Personally, I don't think Kate has been kidnapped. I don't think there is a secret partner that is forcing Kate to do this behind the scenes, and I don't think Kate is using Morse code to try to communicate with people what's going on, specifically because most people on average don't know Morse code, and her tapping is happening way too fast to be Morse code. Because to me, that is way too far-fetched. However, I do think there is something darker happening here, especially with her last upload, where 2 of her teeth fall out while she is eating. I do think Kate is suffering, but not from an abuser, but with an eating disorder. It is not my place to make judgment calls or give this person help if she does not want it, but from my experience with my own disorder, I can definitely see some signs, and her teeth falling out is one of the biggest. I don't know Kate, I can't say if that's fact or not, but if my hypothesis turns out to be correct, I do hope she gets help. This entire Kate Yup situation has truly gotten out of hand, and now with people on this crusade to find out her real identity, and people trying to connect cases of actual missing teens to this YouTube channel, and clickbaiting that Kate is in fact a missing girl, as if that wouldn't be traumatizing to the parents, I think it's gone far enough. So, do I think Kate Yup is an external danger from an outside force? No. Do I think people should stop going on a crusade to dox her? Absolutely. Do I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below? Hell fucking yes. Leave what you think about the situation down here. Leave one of these guys in the comments to make sure I see it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Later. I tried and I failed.